So I'm back from COD Next and had an opportunity to actually play the game a little bit early. If you guys checked out the live stream, appreciate you coming by. One thing I do really want to clarify is somehow the Gunsmith is going to work, and you may have heard different details, but it's changed over time, and this was super clarified by being able to actually play it, get a good feel for it, because in practice, some things are just simpler and easier to understand, and that's what is happening in this case. So first off, you're going to be able to get a primary and a secondary. Unless you decide to get overkill, you'll be able to rock 2 primaries. We'll get to the perk part in a sec. So we have the M4A1, and this is the Cinder blueprint that they've kind of hyped up. And you can see it goes from level 1 to 20, at least in the current build of the game. And there's a little icon that says this is a blueprint. And then when you go over here, you can get the secondary, you can get your 5 attachments, and you can see they're both 5 attachments. Then you get a tactical, a lethal, and then you get a perk package. In the perk package, you're going to be able to get 2 perk 1s, 1 perk 2, and 1 perk 3. The first 2 perks that you see there in blue, you'll be able to start the match with those individual perks. So they're not all that powerful. Everyone's going to be able to have them right off the bat. And then you get perk 2, which is a little bit more powerful generally. And then the last perk, which will be something more powerful like a ghost or a hardline. Then you have the field upgrade, which takes that last spot up. And you can do that double field upgrade like they had in Modern Warfare. That wasn't all too popular because it kind of took the slower recharge time. Here is the build out of the actual attachments, and this is kind of how it was when we played it. And one part that's going to be a little bit confusing for people is this receiver part of it, and that gets cleared up pretty easily once you understand how that actually impacts the weapons, and it's really not even that important. You don't even have to touch that part. So now we have these 5 slots. You can pick any of these 5, and then that's going to take a slot. Optic isn't free. Laser's not free. You can get 5 and you can choose barrel, muzzle, underbarrel, ammunition, magazine, laser. So if you're playing a larger game mode, you might have to go magazine, rear grip. So it's kind of all built out that the way and pretty straightforward. And the key with the 1 through level 20 is you are unlocking 20 different attachments that's going to work for this gun and pretty much every gun in the family tree. So it's very different from prior years where you cannot just use the M4 and you can get every attachment for the M4 just by using this gun. You're going to have to use other guns to get all the attachments for all the entire family of weapons, and it kind of makes it so that you don't have to use one gun for the entire grind. You can use this gun, get to level 20, bounce over, you're going to have all the attachments that you unlocked on this one will carry over to the next weapon. So you can see right here when they go in to click on this receiver part of it, what's going to happen is you have selection of these other ones. So even though you're looking at the family tree through this, what you can see is from level 1 all the way to 15 for this light machine gun, you're getting these 15 attachments which will work on all of these. So if you happen to unlock the M16 first, you'll be able to unlock all these attachments, go to the M4, and you will have all these. Or use the M4, you unlock all those attachments, and you're able to use those attachments on this LMG or M16 or whatever the build is going to be, and you'll kind of diversify the class based off of that. You can change the receiver this way if you want to stay within the M4 family, and you can go ahead and switch through all of these that are basically different weapons when it comes down to it. So when you actually select this, there will be M4, M16, you can actually just select the weapon. You don't even have to worry about the receiver part. So it's like these are just different weapons, as if like you had a kilo in the game, you had an M13, you had an M4, and then what happens is when you go to the menu, you can go, oh, okay, the kilo, M16, whatever, and then when you actually click on one, you can change the receiver and you're like, oh, those are actually connected to each other, and it would be connected in that way. And sometimes they're connected where there might be an SMG version of the build, and we saw that with the weapon that looked like the AK-74U. They call it a different name, something else 74U, but that particular build, when it gets switched around, it'll be able to be used as a rifle, an SMG, an LMG version, and you'll have those types of things where you could pick whatever one you want, and you could use one type of gun pretty much for everything, even though in the game they're going to be different guns, different receiver. I know it sounds but you see it when it plays out. And you can kind of see them going through those individual attachments. You'll be able to unlock it. You'll be able to set it up. They're also going to start to sell these blueprints where there's an individual attachment. So no matter what barrel you use, the blueprint you bought will still look like the cool stuff that you bought. Versus right now, it's like, oh, I changed the weapon. Now it's ruined. And it's going to be for specific blueprints. And this one ends up being one of them that gets highlighted. You can see, oh, right here, whether you use this one, or any of these 5 or 6 optics, or any of this, the body, any of the mags, any of the whatever, you're gonna have that versatility. So pretty straightforward. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's way simpler once you get into it, that basically the grind is always counting for pretty much every gun within that family, and then you can switch over, and there's gonna only be a handful of families. It's not like we got this, whatever. And if they decide to add a weapon down the road, which is part of another family, you'd already have those 40 or 50 attachments for the weapon right off the bat, and maybe they add 10 attachments for that one with the leveling or whatever. So that makes it super straightforward. I'm going to be live streaming the beta over on Twitch, so make sure you hit the follow button over there, as well as here if you want to stay up to date on future content. Appreciate your support. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.